Welcome to Sakari. We will be covering today the newspaper edition of 20th of August. To begin with, Prime Minister Modi meets with the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. They call for a stable and constructive ties. Along with it, the Chinese Foreign Minister has promised to move on border trade and flights, along with a landmark ease in exports of critical minerals. So it has been a very constructive meet and will be championed for future India-China dialogues. Also, both the leaders have agreed on three new mechanisms on de-escalation along the border. Also, the Indian side has flagged concerns over state-sponsored terrorism and also the proposed dam on the Brahmaputra River at the Great Bend. There would be also a boundary framework along the lines of 2005 pact between the two countries. Moreover, the Government of India, the centre, has tabled a constitutional amendment bill in the Parliament. It provides for removing ministers, even to Chief Minister or the Prime Minister, to be removed if he has been detained for 30 days on serious charges. The centre has proclaimed that this bill will boost morality and to prevent that no government at the state level or at the center perhaps should not be run from the jail. But the opposition parties has also flagged the bill over political misuse in the future, and it is very conspicuous that the opposition party members and leaders are often targeted by the center through agencies like the CBI and the ED. So this constitutional amendment bill has both factors to be considered, and also on the consideration of the present structure of the parliament, it is very difficult for the centre to achieve widespread consensus and pass the bill. Continuing, after the meet of both sides, especially between the foreign minister and the prime minister, both sides have agreed that on the question of rare earth minerals, and China has stated that it will ease rare earth element restrictions on exports in pursuit of better relationships. This important issue was taken up in the both the external ministers meet, Mr. Wang and Jaishankar. They also agreed on the exports of fertilizers and boring machine imports. The Prime Minister has also shown his keen interest in following upon the easing of relationship and is keen to meet his counterpart Xi Jinping in the coming meet of SCO at Tianjin, China. The Constitution Bench hears the presidential reference case and asks what recourse does the state government has if the governor keeps with the bills pending and sits upon them. So these events and hearing are consequence of the landmark judgment of the Supreme Court in state of Tamil Nadu versus Governor, in which the division bench of the Supreme Court imposed time limits upon the governor and the president to impede and streamline the passage of bill that have been passed by the state assembly. And this case has emerged because of the governor of Tamil Nadu, Varan Ravi, being lethargic and taking a cognizance and sitting upon pivotal bills passed by the State Assembly of Tamil Nadu. The division bench has been de jure challenged by the president in taking the recourse of Article 143 of the Constitution, and she has asked some serious questions. On the same, the constitutional bench has pointed that there must be re- some recourses exercised by the state government, and it has also stated that the decision by the division bench in the 2023 case was to address an egregious situation and was not in a form to make a precedent. Also, questions were asked upon the constitutionality of imposing certain time limits upon the head of the state, the president, and the governors, and much has been deliberated upon the role of the governor, not as a adversary to the state assembly, but as a constitutional post in consonance with the state assembly, and to not perform the actions of an enemy, but to be act as a mentor and upon the advice of the Council of Ministers and the Assembly. Moving on, S.Y. Qureshi writes that the Election Commission must return to its uncompromising version of transparency, and that this is not just desirable, it is necessary for the Commission to regain the trust which has been long lost because of especially the SIR and allegation of vote chori by the opposition. This has marked serious plummetation of the mass and the populace trust in the election commission, and it has been a sharp decline from the election commission we knew of TN station especially, and it has been a remarkable fact that is promiscuous in the political atmosphere that the EC has been taking a biased view of the situation and has been favorably siding with the center. So, this is a test of trust, and the election commission, as a constitutional body, must return to its guiding principle of free and fair elections as the lifeblood of democracy.